But since that leak, our Supreme Court justices, especially Thomas, Alito, Gorsuch, Kavanaugh, Barrett, they have been subjected to threats on their lives. Their families have been subjected to threats on their lives. And yet, this is what you and Senator Whitehouse are choosing to focus on, is a discrediting of the court. And we know what this is about. We should be talking about protections for the court. I think that it appears that what you're doing is you're going after them because right now you don't agree with some of the decisions that are coming out of the court. So instead of letting them exercise and fulfill their jobs, what they're required to do, what are you doing? You're going after a way to delegitimize the court as an institution. Tennesseans know this. We see it. But, you know, Senator Graham mentioned Justice Sotomayor. Now, this summer, what we learned was that over the years, her staff has pressured public institutions to buy her books. And these books and her book deals have earned her $4 million. And I haven't heard you mention that. None of you have mentioned that. You don't want to talk about that. Nor have you mentioned the fact that she refused to recuse herself from not one, but 2 copyright infringement cases concerning her book publisher. You clearly don't want to talk about that one either. So I have filed an amendment issuing a subpoena to Justice Sotomayor's staff who helped to sell her books, as well as to her book publisher, so we can fully understand the backstory of these deals. And since we're in the business of issuing subpoenas now, here are a few more that I've filed. A subpoena to Jeffrey Epstein's estate to provide the flight logs for his private plane, given the numerous allegations of human trafficking and sexual abuse surrounding Mr. Epstein. I think it is very important that we identify everybody that was on that plane and how many trips they took on that plane and the destinations to which they arrived. I've also filed a subpoena authorizing Secretary Becerra to come before this committee and explain to us how HHS and the Office of Refugee Resettlement has lost track of 85,000 children.
Democrats are the biggest hypocrites, but I think we all know that by now. What bothers me the most is when a Republican wins an election, Democrats can deny it, like we've seen time and time again. But when a Democrat wins and Republicans say, hold on, they call us the election deniers, it's an absolute atrocity. And you see that with our Supreme Court, too. The Supreme Court, yes, we have a Republican majority, and we get a lot of decisions that we like. But let's face it, there have been some that we scratch our heads and say, I don't know about that. But it's a double standard yet again. The Democrats question the courts when they make a decision in our favor. And when they rule in their favor, they're just silent. They don't say anything. It's really sick and it's really twisted, and we deserve better as a nation. If you're going to believe in this system of democracy and this constitutional republic, you have to believe in it always, right? Unless you see true discrepancies. But all we've seen is our conservative justices attacked their homes, you know, their social lives, and the shoes on the other foot. And again, quiet. If the Democrats didn't have low standards or no standards, they just don't have standards. Let's face it. I forget how that silly little saying goes. I think it's the Democrats didn't have low standards that have no standards at all. I think that's what it is. But it's the absolute truth. And they're just purveyors of hypocrisy. And they can't stand on their word. So instead, what do? They call us homophobic, racist, and bigots. Thanks, Democrats. You're really crushing it.